Hi students, in last class we discussed critical angle and total internal reflection. Now we will continue that class. Once again we will revise what is total internal reflection. When the angle of incidence is greater than critical angle, the light ray get reflected into the denser medium at the interface. That means light never enters the rarer medium. When light travels from denser medium to rarer medium, if the angle of incidence is greater than the critical angle, then the light ray gets reflected. In normal reflection, 95% of the light gets reflected and 5% of the light absorbed. But in total internal reflection, 100% of the light undergo reflection. This is the total internal reflection. Here we can see when the light ray travel from denser to rarer medium in the direction of normal, then there is no deviation. When the light ray travel from denser to rarer medium, it bend away from the normal at certain angle. That means at critical angle, it grazes the interface. When the angle of incidence is greater than critical angle, total internal reflection takes place. Here we can see one activity. Take some water in bottle and take a laser light. Pass the laser beam from water to air. Pass the laser beam from water to air. Here at certain angle you will observe that total internal reflection takes place. Examples for total internal reflection. Take a cylindrical transparent vessel. Place a coin at the bottom of the vessel. First of all, take a cylindrical transparent vessel. Place a coin at the bottom of the vessel. Now pour water until you get the image of the coin on the water surface. Here we took one cylindrical transparent vessel. We place one coin at the bottom of the vessel. By pouring water, we will observe that the image of the coin is observed on the water surface. This is due to the total internal reflection. Mirages. This is very important long question. Mirage is an optical illusion where it appears that water has collected on the road at a distant place. But when we got there, we don't find any water. Here we can see mirage is an optical illusion where it appeared that water has collected on the road. But when we got there, we don't find any water. In desert also, we can observe mirages. The formation of mirage is best example where refractive index of medium varies throughout the medium. Here we can observe that air is one medium. The refractive index of the medium varies throughout the medium. Here we will discuss that. During a hot summer day, air just above the road surface is very hot and air at higher altitudes is cool. Here we can observe during a hot summer day, air just above the road surface. During hot summer day, the road surface, earth to become very hot. That's why air just above the road surface is very hot. The air which is just above the road surface is very hot and air at higher altitudes is cool. As the height increases, the temperature of the air decreases. Air which is just above the earth surface, road surface is very hot, and air at higher altitudes is cool. It means that temperature decreases with height. As the height from the earth surface increases, temperature decreases. Here we can see air at just to the earth surface. This is very hot air. When the air is hot, it expands more. So, hot air having low density. Remember, when air is hot, air molecule will expand more. That's why density of the air decreases. It having low density, and if the density decreases, refractive index also decreases. Hot air having low density and low refractive index. And this is the cool air which is at higher altitudes. Cool air which is at higher altitudes. This is the cool air having high density and high refractive index. Cool air having high density and high refractive index. As a result, density of air increases discussed as the height from the earth surfaces increases, temperature of the air decreases. When the temperature of the air decreases, density of the air increases and refractive index of the air increases. So, as we go height, density of the air increases and refractive index also increases. Thus, the refractive index of the air increases with height. As we go height, refractive index of the air increases because density of the air increases. So, the cooler air at the top has greater refractive index. Cooler air at the top has greater refractive index than the hotter air just above the road. Hotter air which is just above the road having lower refractive index, lower density, and cool air which is at higher altitudes having higher refractive index and high density. Light travels faster through the thinner hot air. Thinner hot air acts as a rarer medium. So, light travels faster through the thinner hot air. And denser cool air act as a denser medium. That's why through the denser cool air, light travels slowly. Here, light travels faster through the thinner hot air than through the denser cool air. When the light from a tall object such as tree or from the sky passes through a medium just above the road. When the light from tall object, you can take tree or you can observe sky. The light from tall object passes through the medium just above the road, whose refractive index decreases toward the ground. So, air which is at higher altitudes is denser medium, and air which is near to the earth surface is rarer medium. Here the light is traveling from denser to rarer. When light traveling from denser to rarer medium, if the angle is greater than critical angle, then total internal reflection takes place and light select the curved path. Here the light select the curved path. Here we can observe that a tall tree. So, air which is at higher altitudes act as a denser medium, and air which is near to the earth surface act as a rarer medium. When light travels from denser to rarer medium, if the angle of incidence is greater than critical angle, total internal reflection takes place. So, light select the curved path. For the observer, these light rays appear to coming from the ground surface. This refracted light reaches the observer in a direction shown in the figure. This appears to the observer as if the ray is coming from the ground. Hence, we fell illustration of water being present on the road. So it appeared that illustration of water being present on the road. Actually, it is the virtual image of the sky. Nothing but mirage or inverted image of the tree on the road. Applications of total internal reflection. Now we will discuss the uses or applications of total internal reflection. First one is brilliance of diamond. Here we can see brilliance of diamond. A diamond is appeared brilliance than a glass piece cut to the same shape. Why? Because total internal reflection is the main reason for the brilliance of diamond. Total internal reflection is the main reason for the brilliance of diamond. The critical angle of diamond is very low, that is 24.4 degrees. The critical angle of the diamond is 24.4 degrees. It is very low. So if a light ray enters a diamond, it is very likely to undergo total internal reflection. When light ray enters a diamond, it is very likely to undergo total internal reflection, which makes the diamond shine. Due to total internal reflection, diamond makes the shine. Second one, optical fiber. Total internal reflection is the basic principle behind the working of optical fiber. An optical fiber is very thin fiber made of glass or plastic. It may be made of glass or plastic. It is very thin fiber having radius about micrometer. A micrometer is equal to 10 power minus 6 meters. That is the optical fiber having very low radius. A bunch of such fiber form a light pipe. Because of small radius of the fiber, light going into it make nearly glancing incident on the wall. This fiber having very low radius. Due to this, light going into makes nearly glancing incidents on the wall. The angle of incidence is greater than the critical angle. When the angle of incidence is greater than the critical angle, total internal reflection takes place. The light thus transmitted along the fiber. Due to total internal reflection, light transmitted along optical fiber. Here we can see transmission of the light. Here we can see optical fiber. Here the light is transmitted through optical fiber due to total internal reflection. Due to this total internal reflection, light transmitted from one place to other place through the optical fiber. All organs of the human body are not accessible to the naked eye of the doctor. For example, intestines and the organs which are inside the body. The doctor insert light pipe into the stomach through the mouth. The doctor will insert light pipe into the stomach through the mouth. Light is sent down through the one set of fibers in the pipe. This illuminates the inside of the stomach. It contains a pipe contains a set of fibers. Light is sent down through one set of fibers. This illuminates the inside of the stomach. The light from the inside travels back through the other set of fibers in the pipe, and the viewer gets the image at the computer screen. At the computer screen, at the monitor, we can observe the internal parts of the human. Here we can see the internal organism by using optical fiber. Refraction through a glass slab. A thin glass slab is formed when a medium is isolated from its surrounding by two plane surfaces parallel to each other. Here thin glass slab contain two plane surfaces parallel to each other. Its surrounding medium may be other than glass. Here we will discuss one activity. Aim of that activity is determination of ray tracking by a glass slab and lateral shift. Here we will determine the ray tracking by a glass slab and lateral shift. Materials required are drawing board, chart paper, clamps, scale, pencil, thin glass slab and pins. These are the required materials. Procedure. Place a piece of chart. First of all, place a piece of chart or paper on drawing board. Clamp it. By using clamps, clamp it. Place a glass slab in the middle of the paper. Place a glass slab in the middle of the paper. Draw the borders line along the edges of the slab by using pencil. By using pencil, draw the border line along the edges of the glass slab. Here we can see refraction through glass slab. When light travels through glass slab, it undergoes refraction twice because glass slab is made up of glass. Here initially, when light enters into the first surface of the glass slab, here the light is traveled from air to glass, rarer medium to denser medium. So it undergoes first refraction. When light leaves the glass slab, here the light is traveled from glass to air. Glass is the denser medium, air is the rarer medium. So it undergoes second refraction. When light travels through the glass slab, it undergoes refraction twice. Here a ray which is incident on the glass slab is the incident ray, and the ray which is emerged through the glass slab is emergent ray. Name the vertices of the rectangle as ABCD. Already we took one glass slab and we place a glass slab on a chart and we draw the borders. Now name the vertices of the rectangle. We will get the rectangle. Name that vertices as ABCD. Draw a perpendicular at point on the longer side AB. For longer side AB, draw one perpendicular line. Again keep the slab on paper such that it coincides with the sides of the rectangle ABCD. Again keep the glass slab in its original position. It fits in ABCD. Draw a perpendicular at point on the longer side AB. Now draw a line from the point of intersection where side AB of a rectangle and perpendicular meet in such a way that it makes 30 degrees with normal. First of all, draw a perpendicular line to the AB. After, now draw one line which makes 30 degrees with that normal. This line represents the incident ray falling on the slab. A ray which makes 30 degrees with the normal, that represents incident ray falling on the slab. And the angle it makes with normal represent angle of incidence. Here the angle of incidence is 30 degrees. Start this experiment with 30 degrees. Here we can see incident ray, PQ is the incident ray and MN is the normal. When light ray incident on glass slab, first of all it undergo refraction. Here the light is travel from air to glass, so rarer medium to denser medium. It bends toward the normal. Again when light ray travel out of the glass slab, here the light is travel from glass to air, that is denser medium to rarer medium, so it bend away from the normal. Here if you extend incident ray, the distance between extended incident ray and extended emergent ray, here we can observe that extended incident ray and emergent ray both are parallel to each other. The distance between these two parallel rays is called lateral shift. The distance between these two parallel rays is called lateral shift. Now place a slab on the paper in such a way that it fits in the rectangle drawn. Fix two identical pins on the line making 30 degrees angle. Already we draw a line PQ which makes 30 degrees angle with the normal such that they stand vertically with equal heights. So fix two pins on the a line which makes 30 degrees with the normal. Name that line as PQ. By looking at the two pins from the other side of this slab, fix two pins in such a way that all pins appear along the straight line. PQ and RS appear to straight line. By looking from the other side of the glass slab, fix another two pins such that PQ and RS appear to be in straight line. Draw a straight line by joining the dots formed by the pins up to the edge CD of the rectangle. This line represents emergent ray. RS represents emergent ray. Draw a perpendicular ON to the line CD. CD is the another side of the rectangle. Draw one perpendicular to CD. Measure the angle between emergent ray and normal. See, here ON is the perpendicular line. Measure the angle between emergent ray and normal. This is called angle of emergent. The distance between the parallel rays. Already we discussed extended incident ray and emergent ray. Both are parallel. The distance between parallel rays is called lateral shift. Measure this shift. Repeat the experiment for different angles of incidence and tabulate the values of incidence and shift corresponding to each angle of incidence. Now we will discuss last activity. Measure the thickness of the glass slab. First of all, measure the thickness of the glass slab. Note in your notebook. That value note in your notebook. Take a wide chart and fix on the table. Take one wide chart and fix on the table. Take the slab and place it on the middle of the chart. Take the slab and place it on the middle of the chart. Draw its boundary. Already we discussed same type of activity. Place the glass slab on the chart and draw its boundary. Remove the slab from its place. The line forms a rectangle. Name the vertices as ABCD. Draw the perpendicular to longer line AB of the rectangle at any point on it. To the AB, draw one perpendicular line. Place this slab again in the rectangle ABCD. Take a pin, place at the point P. Take one pin and place that pin at the point P in such a way that its length is parallel to AB. The length of the pin should be parallel to AB. On the perpendicular line at a distance of 50 centimeters from the slab. Place that pin at a distance of 15 centimeters from the slab such that pin is parallel to the AB. Now take another pin and by looking at the first pin from the other side of the slab, try to place the pin so that it forms a straight line with the first pin. Take second pin and by observing from other side of the slab, place second pin such that first pin and second pin both are in straight line. First pin is seen through the glass slab, whereas second pin is seen through the air. Here the first pin is seen through the glass slab and second pin is seen through the air. That means outside of the glass slab. Here we can see the drawing. There is a glass slab and first of all place one pin and take another pin. First pin is seen through the glass slab and second pin is seen through the air out of the glass slab. Place second pin place second pin such that the second pin is straight line with the first pin. When we remove glass slab, we will observe that these two are not in straight line. Now extend. Draw a perpendicular line, extended perpendicular line from the second pin to the line on which first pin is placed. Call the intersection point Q. Find the distance between P and Q. We may call it as vertical shift. The distance between P and Q we called as vertical shift. Now we can measure the refractive index by using the formula refractive index is equal thickness of the glass slab by already we measured thickness of the glass slab, and by doing this activity we will measure vertical shift. Refractive index of glass slab is equal thickness of glass slab by thickness of glass slab minus vertical shift. By using this formula we can measure refractive index of the glass slab. Students, all of you make notes, prepare well.